about 1:15. Short little live session here. Um, talk about whatever. As always, we'll start off with one thing and then we'll see where it actually ends up. Um, I actually, sorry, I got a visitor. My cat is here meowing at me. When she hears me talk, she thinks I can't possibly be having a conversation without her being included. Um, Her sister, the other little black cat that I adopted about a little over a year ago, um, could care less who I talk to. She's downstairs doing her own thing. But this cat's a little bit of a um, conversationalist herself, so she needs to be involved. Um, I'm thinking quite a bit of, as I mentioned yesterday, micro practices or a micro practice. Um, a way to get in a full yoga based lifestyle and the things we do without breaking the bank, without going what some might consider overboard, which would basically be the life that I'm living myself right now. Um, but I do almost everything overboard for whatever reason. Just tends to happen. There's ways of incorporating this almost monk-like spiritual-based practice in our lives without becoming a monk, without becoming even very strict in how we approach it. And for me, it starts with getting up early. That ensures that I'm going to get things done. Yeah, there's some sacrifices that you make. You go to bed earlier, but you know what? You end up sleeping better because you're going to bed tired. You've earned it. And when you think about it, what are you really missing going to bed an hour earlier? I forget where I read for every hour of sleep before midnight has a higher quality, the equivalent to an hour plus worth of sleep. After, I believe, after 10, could be 12, but I thought I read 10. I'll look that up. Not right now, maybe before the end of the session, and we'll find out for sure where that number is based on. However, I do know as I get up earlier and earlier, and yes, going to bed earlier and earlier, my sleep has improved. And I talked about yesterday quite a bit on a um, Instagram conversation, much like this, except I'm on Instagram. Um, why I started doing this, practicing sleep hygiene. My sleep hygiene is for mental health reasons. I went through a 2-year period of getting very little sleep. Kept my regular practices going on, kept my burpee streak going, all my other workouts, my yoga, my meditation. But something was breaking down. I just wasn't getting sleep. And after being misdiagnosed with a condition in my lungs, which turned out to be incorrect, um, but caused quite a bit of stress on top of the stress that I was already experiencing. It was just a lot. I was having what I discovered in the middle of the night. I was having anxiety attacks, panic attacks. And this, it was even more distressing because here I was doing everything right. I was meditating, I was doing breath work, I was practicing yoga, and I had been for decades. I was a vegetarian. Sorry, I was a vegan. Um, so much. I practiced stress management, but it was during the height of COVID. I was concerned about keeping my father safe and healthy, determined that he would not die of COVID, that he would not die alone in the hospital without his loved ones being present. Just was not going to happen. Um, so I went way overboard, making sure that he was safe. Just whatever policies were in place during COVID shutdowns, I doubled, I tripled. Wasn't that I was super paranoid, but again, I wasn't going to let my father get sick. Not from COVID, not all that he'd been through the years, and then end up dying that way with me as his caregiver. Um, because I took that role seriously, as in the first word, care. I was giving my father all the care that he deserved for a lifetime of care that he gave to others, his family. Um, so yeah, I was having anxiety attacks, panic attacks, and of course, I didn't know what they were. I saw the symptoms, but I couldn't associate it with me. How could I? I was doing everything right. I was the guy who didn't get. I was the guy that coached other people on how to get through panic attacks, anxiety attacks, and get to the other side. And all of a sudden, here I am, middle of the night, unable to put my head on the pillow for more than 10 seconds before sitting bolt upright and having to pace up and down the hallway, up and down the steps all night long. And every time I tried to lie down again, it would happen again, over and over and over again. And then I might have a streak of a few weeks. Things seem to calm, and then it would hit me again. So something had to change. I couldn't do hardcore medication. It was offered. I'm not against accepting help that way, but I just couldn't do it. I had to be sharp. Again, I had to keep my father safe. I wanted to keep me safe. I wanted to keep my ex-wife safe. I just wanted things to be good. So, um, what I did, double down on my yoga, deepen my meditation practice. Um, by doubling down on my yoga, I mean I woke up early, got my first practice in, right when the sun was coming up at the time, and it's gotten earlier and earlier now. Um, Now it's hours before the sun comes up. I get my first yoga practice in. I've already meditated. I've done my writing for the day. I've gotten outside in nature, and I've talked before the importance of getting that first light to the eyes. That it produces cortisol and other hormones, stress-related hormones that are actually good for us. We think of cortisol as a stress hormone that causes so much damage, and in excess and uncontrolled, it is. But we need just the right amount, just the right amount to get us going, to help us face the day, to have some motivation and inspiration to live life joyfully, happily, and navigate its problems, because life has some problems. So when the sunlight hits the eyes, that first light, your body starts producing those chemicals in the right and proper amount. Artificial light doesn't do that. You might start producing a minimal amount because that's what the body does when it wakes up, but the amount that you need to be fully functioning energetically, you need that real sunlight that you only get first thing in the morning. And then everything starts to click. Those same hormones that are produced later on begin to die off, and in their wake, in the waste material that they leave behind, your body starts to produce serotonin and melatonin, the opposite effect of cortisol. And what happens is your body starts producing those as the day progresses more and more until at night you're ready for bed. Other things you can do as well: proper breathing and knowing which breath to do at what time. This is the genius behind the Yoga Body Breath Coach certification, which I did last year. Um, he labels it coffee breath, the breathing that we do, sharp inhalation, short exhalations. It helps your body produce cortisol and other useful hormones for the morning, for the day, whenever you need to be brought up. He labels them coffee breathing techniques. There's several of them. And then we have the water breathing techniques in the afternoon that help maintain that natural energy or calm us down a bit if we're a little too keyed up. If we had too many cups of coffee, if we need to bring ourselves down just a bit. And then we have the whiskey breathing techniques. And these are just labels to help signify sort of the results that you can expect. And the whiskey breathing brings us down even further, lowers the heart rate, prepares the body for sleep. There's some key yoga poses you can do in the evening too. Again, it's all part proper sleep hygiene, as well as following a good diet. What following a good diet can be personal, so we won't get too much in the weeds about this. Personally, I think plant-based doesn't mean vegan, doesn't even mean vegetarian, but plant-based meaning the vast majority of your food is from plant sources. That's the way to go. That's the way every blue zone, those zones where people live happy and healthily into the 90s and even 100, even 100 plus, all follow a plant-based diet. Yes, they include some meat. They might have a little bit of wine, but the vast majority of the food on their plate is from plants, nuts, whole grain, plenty of vegetables, some type of legume. There you go. Maybe a slice of meat. Not some huge big slab of meat on their plate. They just don't eat that way. None of them. Meat is it's a luxury. And it is for most of the world, actually. Except in, the West, where we have it in abundance every single meal. It's not enough to have a Whopper. You have a double Whopper or a triple Whopper, or you have a meat lover's pizza. Not saying don't do it, but be aware of the choices and what is it doing to you overall in your health. Get your numbers checked. Cholesterol, your blood pressure. Is it going in the direction of staying in the direction that you want it to? Is it helping you sleep? Is it helping you get up? Is it keeping you joyful and happy through your day? Then we can get into the ethics behind it. Is it depriving other people? For you to eat a certain way, does someone else have to starve or be malnourished somewhere else in the world? It's an important question to ask. That's where the yoga ethics, the yamas and yamas that I've been talking about for several days, that's where they come in. So these are some of the changes that I made. I'm already vegan, but I did the proper breath work at the proper time, proper yoga, right time. Didn't work out late at night. Got everything in early. Did what I could to get that sleep. Improve my mental state of mind, my mental health. Had to become a priority. For taking care of my father, for being present for my ex-wife, my stepchild, all of it. Had to be done. For my own sake, I had to do something. Even when my father passed away, I had to keep making these minor adjustments, navigating the minefield of our mental health. It's what I did. It's what I continue to do. And the results have been pretty mind-blowing as far as improving the quality of my sleep, actually being able to sleep. Still having some issues sometimes, not often, on occasion. Keeping the panic attacks bare minimum. I can feel them creeping in, and I can breathe my way through it 98% of the time. There's still that 2%. Sometimes if I'm not right on top of things, something hits me hard, and I can feel myself spiraling, but I don't spiral. Not like I did. I have not paced the halls or walked the steps in the middle of the night for quite some time, I'm happy to say. So, what would a micro program, yogic based micro program, look for someone who is not as all consumed by yoga and meditation and breath work as I am? Pretty easy. Get up, if possible, an hour before you normally do. Do some breath work. Sit in meditation. Doesn't have to be long. Skip the meditation. We'll come back to that. Do your breath work. Sit, say a prayer, do a chant, whatever higher source, as they say in AA, whatever higher source. God, Allah, Buddha, Christ consciousness, the universe, reality, your higher self. I don't care what the name is, what it is, that is your higher source, higher power. Because whatever it is, it's not separate from you. So if you say that prayer, if you say that chant, if you just give a moment of silence towards whatever, I had to make sure you saw my hand gesture, because it's not separate from you, it will be what's needed. Lay down in Savasana, which is the corpse pose. Relax. Breathe. Do the easy yogic breathing. Belly filling up naturally. Falling naturally. Not breathing from the chest. All from the belly. Everything from the belly. And then relaxed. 5 minutes. Sit up. Anywhere from 1 to 6 rounds of sun salutation. Sun salutation, it's in every yogic practice, it is an essential almost. I prefer the traditional approach, Hatha Yoga. Probably another talk. I'll explain the differences. You might already know the differences. Every muscle is worked. Not just that, deeply energetically. Every aspect of our energy system, we can call it the chakra system, whatever, is worked. Physical health benefits, you're getting improved circulation, blood circulation, increased oxygenation. All the muscle, the entire body is being flooded with oxygen. You boosting your gut health. Every muscle is stretched, every muscle is flexed. And then we have the mental health benefits, that you are helping, will sharpen your focus. It actually helps remove toxins from the body, improves digestion, as I mentioned, improves your self-confidence. It helps develop self-discipline, and it'll help you manage anxiety, depression, and insomnia. All important things, obviously. Anywhere, again, from, I would do no less than 3. You can do it up to 6. I know some practices we'd actually do it up to 12. I usually do it 2-3 times in the morning, sometimes more. A couple other poses based around that. This is my easy yoga workout to just get me ready for the day. And then I have a longer yoga practice in the afternoon. Pick 2 poses after your sun salutation. Just 2. I would do, my recommendation would be the garland pose, which is a deep full squat, elbows between the knees, and then you help use the elbows to widen the hips. So you're getting that full hip mobility, flexibility, as well as opening up the lower back while sitting in the squat position. So many benefits of sitting in the squat position, not just squatting, sitting there. Western society, one of the only societies in the world that doesn't sit when they go to the bathroom. You can get yourself a squatty potty, which is basically a stool you put your feet on. So when you go to the bathroom, you're in that natural position. Everything comes out easily. I guess is the best way of saying it, or easier. really helps improve elimination. As Coach Stan John said, when he got serious about his elimination got serious. Um, there is so many health benefits to proper elimination. That would be a whole another video just to talk about, and it would probably be a difficult video to get all the way through. So, um, the garland pose, that full squat, and then I would do shoulder stand because it's easier to do than a headstand. You get all the benefits of a headstand. You can sit in it longer, or actually stand in it longer, reverse stand in it longer. And you've already done cobra, down dog, lunges, all that in your sun salutation. So get in an inversion. Your head's below your knees. All the blood's going down. You're nourishing the brain. So many benefits of doing an inversion. Everyone should do at least one inversion pose a day, and you'll see the difference. Almost immediately, you'll see the difference. You'll see your blood pressure plummet. You will see your mental health improve. Your concentration will sharpen. Just so many benefits. And then come down and then lie in Savasana, the corpse pose, again, for however long you think you have. Get up. Another thank you, another chant, another whatever, another prayer. That's a meditation right there. From the beginning opening prayer chant to the breath work, Savasana, sun salutation, 2 poses, Savasana again. Everything done mindfully, everything following the breath. Complete program, everything you need. Savasana becomes your meditation, lying there, watching the breath rise, watching the belly fall. That would be a micro practice. Later in the afternoon, you could do the water breathing that we talked about before, alternate nostril breathing, or 4, out 4, breathing in through the nose for count of 4, breathing out through the nose, count of 4, 10 rounds. If you have time, you could do more, or you use that time for your regular workout. In the evening, you practice the whiskey breathing type breath. You do some relaxing yoga. Nothing intense. Everything's based upon helping you sleep. You're good to go. Proper sleep hygiene. Get the electronics off at least an hour before you go to bed. No eating at least 2 hours before you go to bed. One thing that I didn't fit in that I would include, especially if you're getting up an hour earlier and you got that 15 to 20 minute yogic based mindfulness practice, then get out in nature and get that sunlight. 10 minutes, all you need. Get that light into your eyes. That's my suggestion for what it's worth. Happy to help anyone set it up if they're interested. That's it. I guess that's all we have to talk about today. I didn't get around to the next niyama in the yogic ethics that we've been talking about, but I will. Always something to talk about. And I'm always up to the task of talking about something, even if I don't know anything about it. I'll find a way to talk about it. All right, guys. You have a good day. Take care.